In the world of anime and manga, power isn't always about strength. Sometimes, it's about control, manipulation, influence. It's about the ability to shape reality, not with fists, but with words, with presence, with fear. Today, we pit two of the most psychologically terrifying characters ever written against each other. One is a devil in human form. The other is a human that surpasses devils. Johan, Liebert, Makima, the puppet masters, the false gods, the final bosses of sanity. This isn't just a fight. This is a psychological war. Who truly wins when monsters clash not with blades, but with ideology? Johan Liebert, the invisible apocalypse. Johan Liebert, the enigmatic antagonist from Naoki Urasawa's Monster, is often referred to as the perfect monster. But what does that mean? He's not a beast. He doesn't have claws, or fangs, or supernatural strength. He's handsome, soft-spoken, polite, but behind those calm eyes lies a bottomless abyss. Johan is a character built not on chaos, but on precision. Every move he makes is calculated. Every word he speaks is chosen with purpose. Born from tragedy and psychological torment, during unethical experiments on children, Johan's identity begins in fragmentation. He adopts other identities, erases his past, and orchestrates events from the shadows. Johan has no goal like ruling the world or amassing wealth. His ultimate aim, to stand at the end of the world alone, to prove that life is meaningless, that everyone, no matter how pure, can be corrupted. He doesn't kill people out of rage. He creates scenarios where they kill themselves or each other. He whispers thoughts, reveals truths, or simply listens, and lets their own minds destroy them. He is the personification of nihilism, a void that consumes everyone he touches. Makima, the devil of control. Makima, from Tatsuki Fujimoto's Chainsaw Man, is the control devil, one of the primal fears. She represents the fear of domination, of being controlled by someone stronger, smarter, more powerful. But unlike Johan, Makima is not subtle in her control, at least not always. She uses both political and supernatural influence to bend people to her will. She's charming, calm, even maternal at times. But make no mistake, her love is conditional. Her kindness is a leash. Makima doesn't simply manipulate with words. She rewrites realities. She forms contracts that let her erase you with a thought. She dominates others so completely they forget what freedom ever felt like. What makes Makima fascinating is the duality in her nature. She truly believes she is helping humanity. She believes that through control, order, and domination, she can create a better world. But her methods are brutal. She toys with emotions. She deceives with smiles. And she never, ever shows her hand until it's too late. Where Johan is a whisper in the dark, Makima is the sound of a boot stepping on your neck while promising you love. Nihilism versus domination. Johan and Makima don't just differ in tactics, they represent entirely different worldviews. Johan's core philosophy is rooted in nihilism. He believes life has no inherent meaning, that people, when pushed, will destroy themselves or others. He tests this over and over again, using people as tools in his grand experiment of despair. What terrifies us about Johan is that he might be right, that his observations of human nature, the corruption, the selfishness, the fragility aren't exaggerated. Johan is the horror of looking in the mirror and seeing nothing. Makima, on the other hand, seeks purpose. She wants a world without pain, without chaos. But her version of peace is built on absolute control. She wants to be the god of this new world. Not because she wants power for power's sake, but because she thinks no one else is qualified to lead. Her evil is not chaotic. It's methodical, bureaucratic, justified in her own twisted morality. This clash meaninglessness vs authoritarian meanings what makes their theoretical battle so compelling. Johan wants the world to end in silence. Makima wants it to be a choir where every voice sings her song. Emotional manipulation. Johan's manipulation is existential. He finds people's weaknesses, their regrets, their traumas, and he gently pushes them over the edge. He doesn't force, he suggests. And then, he lets the poison take root in their mind. His most famous acts are orchestrations. He rarely dirties his hands. Makima's manipulation is personal. She makes you feel special, needed, loved. She creates emotional dependencies. For Denji, she became everything he ever wanted: a mother, a lover, a savior. And then she weaponized that love. She broke him so that he would be hers. While Johan disintegrates the soul, Makima binds it so tightly that it can't breathe. Raw power. In a physical confrontation, Makima obliterates Johan without effort. She has supernatural durability, regeneration, the ability to control others, and execution-style techniques using unseen forces. She's practically immortal, unless truly erased or forgotten, a concept tied to the fear she embodies. Johan is a regular human. If you shot him, he'd die. But that's exactly why he's terrifying. He doesn't need powers to destroy you. He uses your power, your influence, your networks, your loved ones, against you. Psychological power. This is where the playing field tilts. Johan has manipulated detectives, politicians, serial killers, soldiers, children, and even his own twin sister. He makes people confess to crimes they didn't commit. He convinces children to commit murder. He turns the noble into monsters. Makima manipulates people too, but her influence often comes from her inherent devil power. She can manipulate emotionally. She does so with Denji, Aki, and even power, but it often works because of her supernatural presence. In a setting where powers are stripped, Johan could potentially break Makima over time, but in a setting where Makima retains her full abilities, she can end him in seconds. Imagine Makima enters a realistic world like Johan's. No devils, no powers, just psychology, politics, and human influence. Here, Johan has the edge. Makima's power base is erased. She no longer has supernatural contracts. She must rely on charm, cunning, and emotional control. Johan, who thrives in this space, would recognize her as a threat but might also try to use her. The two would play a long game. Johan could, eventually, use her past, her desire for control, her loneliness against her. Now, flip it. Johan enters Chainsaw Man's universe. Makima's contracts are active. Her perception is godlike. Johan is now a human in a world of devils. In this world, Johan dies. Makima wouldn't even see him as a threat until it's too late, and even if she does, she can erase him instantly. Johan might intrigue her. She might attempt to convert him, but ultimately, her power gives her complete dominance. Johan, the horror of truth. Johan wins, not because he kills more, but because he makes us ask terrifying questions. Are we really good people? Or are we just one bad day away from becoming monsters ourselves? He is the embodiment of Nietzsche's warning: when you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. He doesn't need to raise his voice. He simply opens a door, and what you see on the other side is your own darkness. That's why Johan lingers with readers. He doesn't shock, he infects. Makima, the horror of love. Makima, however, represents a different fear, the fear that love can be used as a weapon, that our desire to belong, to be needed, can make us blind to oppression. She is the quiet warning against charismatic leaders who promise safety at the cost of freedom. She's terrifying because she's so relatable. We all want someone like hers, someone who takes control when the world falls apart, and that's exactly how she wins, by becoming what we desire, and then twisting it. Symbolism. Johan is a ghost, a reflection of post-war trauma, the fear that humans are inherently evil. Makima is authoritarianism, wrapped in affection, the fear that control, masquerading as care, is the most dangerous form of power. They both win because they represent truths we don't want to admit. So who wins, really? The monster with no powers who turns the world into a reflection of his emptiness, or the devil who wants to build a better world on the backs of broken souls? Makima might destroy Johan in a physical clash, but Johan would haunt her long after death. He would be the whisper she can't erase, the doubt she can't control. In the end, they are mirrors. Both take your agency, both twist your mind, one through control, the other through chaos. But perhaps the scariest thing of all is that you understand them, that a part of you agrees. Now, subscribe to Dark Panel for more anime breakdowns, and remember, there are no winners when monsters wear human skin.